Hi friends, it's Morgan with Compass Rose Astrology, and today we are going to be talking about what it's like to be an Aquarius Sun, or maybe even an Aquarius Rising. I think a lot of these traits will apply to people with really strong Aquarius placements, and this is a video that's in my line of kind of my series of explaining what it's like to have your sun or strong placements in a certain sign. So let's just kind of break down Aquarius. We'll talk about what it means seasonally, what its indicators are, and even some examples of kind of art or archetypes and the basic symbolism of Aquarius so that you can understand it better. So Aquarius, just as the basic starting point, the Aquarius season is typically around January 22nd to February 22nd. It can kind of change a little bit depending on the sun's placements, but those are the general dates that it falls into. It is also a masculine sign, which means it's very active, it's very proactive, and it's also kind of based in the mind. It's kind of a thought and wisdom based sign. It's also air, an air element sign, which also really indicates it as a very thoughtful, kind of mentally stimulated sign. And it's also fixed, which means that's the modality. It's a fixed sign instead of cardinal or mutable. And fixed means it's basically one of the more unchangeable signs. It's also, it takes a lot of motivation for it to change, basically, unlike cardinal and mutable. It is symbolized by the water bearer symbol, which is a human symbol, and how a traditional astrology kind of broke down all the signs changed, like identified as them as like animal signs, like Leo, which is the lion, or Cancer as a crab, and then we do have Aquarius as the water bearer, and we have like Gemini as the twin, stuff like that. So the sign of Aquarius is the temple of Saturn, and the planet in exile in the sign is the sun. And we can kind of see this in the seasonality of Aquarius, that Saturn, if you think of the planets in line in the solar system, we have the sun, which is the brightest, lightest point right in the front, and then we have Saturn as far away from the sun as possible. It's cold, it's detached, it's basically the border between, it's the last visible planet in the solar system, and so they're basically polar opposites. So that's why the sun is, one of the reasons why the sun is in exile or in detriment in Aquarius. It's also symbolized by the tarot card, the Star, if you're familiar with that. And I'll kind of talk about that too, as well as how they kind of meet up with each other and how they both are symbolized by kind of the same things. So let's just get into it. What is Aquarius? What is Aquarius about? Aquarius season is in the dead of winter. Daylight is short, it's the coldest and darkest nights, and this is Aquarius season. And Aquarius is a fixed, stubborn, competent, tenacious, and very determined sign. Saying a sign is fixed means it is really unchangeable, and that unchanging air, if you think about how Aquarius is the air element and it's unchanging, fixed. It can also be, in my mind, you can symbolize that kind of fixed air to the way the lungs work. So they aren't fixed, like they do move a little bit within our body, but without any external effort, they move. And internally, they're all a wheel and cog kind of machine that must be continuously working in order for our bodies to thrive. And I think of that in the way that Aquarius's mind works. It's very much like that as well. So you can't really tell on the outside just how deep their mental thought processes go, or just how deep their emotions go, but they kind of read as very cold, like Saturnine kind of people and constitutions, but internally they're really a whirlwind of activity and thought, because they're very air oriented, very thought oriented. And Aquarians are air signs, so they absolutely thrive on mental activity. That is what emotions are to an Aquarian. They have feelings, but in order to feel them, they must understand them first. So that's where their understanding comes from connection to others. So they are a very kind of societally focused person, but only in terms of what's best for others, not really that they want to be putting themselves out there, kind of like Leo, or even sometimes Libra, to really connect with other people. And Libra's another air sign, but very different in the fact that they need other people to bounce their ideas off of, whereas Aquarius is very fixed. And you can see this in the image of the water bearer. It's a human holding a jug full of water, right? And it's a symbol of using a tool, this jug, to understand the contents, which are water, right? Their emotions, to hold and to contain their emotions. It's a kind of giving and taking of emotions as well, which you can also see in the Star Tarot card. Which is in the image you can see like the person is pouring the jug of water out into a pond, and in the pond it's all clear and calm, and the water does run back to the person under like another foot of them. It depends on how the image is drawn, but that's typically how the traditional Rider-Waite tarot looks. And it's very much a giving and taking of emotions and thought and effort. And Aquarius is also one of the best leaders in the zodiac, and you can see that in their natural leadership and their natural self-control. And with or without people's support, they will be great leaders. Like, they have a lot of confidence, at least in their own ideals, to allow them to put themselves forward. The thing about Aquarius is that they are like the father of the zodiac, sort of like Capricorn, as they're both ruled by Saturn, but Aquarius is not afraid of the hard truths of life, and they deal with it, they hold it, kind of seen in the water bearer jug, when others can't really carry that heavy weight of the world. And they do care for others, and they have very strong ideals and kind of morals seen in their symbolism as a human. They think at kind of another level, and they care about other people at another level. It's really at an intellectual level, and it all matters to them. It might not seem that way all the time because it's not very emotional, but just because it is more thought than emotion for them, it doesn't mean they don't care and that they won't help. In fact, there's some of the more dependable and active, like masculine signs in the zodiac, and they thrive on community. Despite not being the most kind of intimate individuals, it takes a lot, honestly, for an Aquarius to kind of allow someone into their own inner chambers, and often they find more pleasure in intellectual discussion and mutual understanding. And they are often in touch with their emotions as long as they've had a chance to think about how they feel first. I think that's super Aquarius. They have to think about how they feel. They are also some of the most individualistic and unique characters in the zodiac. They are completely unafraid of the toil of finding yourself, which is seen in Saturn's kind of desire for what is deserved and what is right. Aquarius really holds on to that. And yet they can also be kind of judgmental when others aren't totally themselves. And you can see that in the sun's detriment in Aquarius. So Aquarius is really repulsed when people are either selfish or put on airs. They don't have any time for any people acting any certain way or pretending to be a certain way. And they can also really see through it because they're very intellectual. They're not based on emotions, they can pick up on when someone's being inauthentic. Aquarius is also the sign of Saturn that puts in really long hours. They aren't afraid to say no. Sometimes they have a hard time hearing no, but that's just because they really strongly believe in their ideals and what they can give to the community and people. They also aren't afraid of change or losing hard-won opportunities. Aquarius is really that mystical archetype that is the journey of mankind and kind of the cosmos around us. Lastly, just a kind of last point I want to make, since Aquarius is also symbolized by the tarot card, the Star, Aquarius is also seen as the person that makes wishes happen. They do not just live in their head, despite their quick and kind of introspective thought. They are also the sign of action, freedom, technology, and wisdom. They are old souls in the new world, and they're completely unafraid to peel back the layers to figure out how to make life better. They are not golden-eyed optimists at all, but instead they're realists looking to make an impact and to live their life authentically. And there is no room for disingenuousness in an Aquarius's life. I hope this video kind of showed you a new side to Aquarius, or made you like think differently of Aquarius, or maybe put some, like, connect some dots for you and some of how some Aquarius friends of yours might feel or might act in your life. So let me know if this kind of resonated, or if you feel like you know any other really good traits that Aquarius people have that you think I might have missed, because I'd love to hear. There's so much to the archetype and to the symbol of Aquarius that I could probably easily make a video like an hour long talking about them. So yeah, I'd love to chat with you guys down in the comments and see if you have any other fun traits or stories about an Aquarius that you'd like to share. And I look forward to talking to you in the next video. Bye.